Have you ever felt a presence in the room when no one else was there? Caught a familiar scent that transported you back to memories of someone you've lost? Heard their favorite song play at the exact moment you needed comfort most? What if I told you these weren't coincidences at all, but deliberate communications from those who've passed beyond the veil? Edgar Cayce, known as America's greatest mystic and the sleeping prophet, spent decades documenting something extraordinary. Through thousands of psychic readings while in deep trance states, he discovered that death isn't an ending but merely a transition. Our loved ones don't disappear when they leave their physical bodies. They continue watching over us, guiding us, and finding remarkable ways to let us know they're still present in our lives. Today I'm going to reveal the 7 most powerful spiritual signs that your deceased loved ones are still actively watching over you. These aren't vague theories or wishful thinking. These are documented phenomena that Cayce observed repeatedly through his extraordinary abilities to communicate with those who had crossed over. By the end of this exploration, you'll understand exactly what to look for and how to recognize when someone from the other side is trying to reach you. But first, let me tell you why Edgar Cayce's insights into the afterlife are so profound and reliable. Born in 1877, Cayce discovered his unusual gift as a young man when he could enter a sleep-like trance and access information far beyond normal human perception. During these sessions, he would answer questions about healing, spirituality, and the mysteries of life and death. What made his work extraordinary wasn't just his accuracy, but his consistent message about the continuation of consciousness after physical death. Cayce taught that when we die, we merely change form and remain very much alive. Death, he explained, is simply passing through God's other door. Through his readings, he demonstrated repeatedly that the spirits of those who have passed remain connected to our physical plane until their spiritual development carries them onward. Thousands of souls, he revealed, are actively around us at all times, maintaining their ability to communicate with the living when the conditions are right. The evidence Cayce provided wasn't theoretical. In reading after reading, he would relay specific messages from deceased individuals to their grieving families. These communications included details that only the departed person could have known, personality traits that were unmistakably theirs, and messages of comfort that brought profound healing to those left behind. One particularly striking example involved a deceased woman who communicated through Cayce that her concern for her family continued even after death, and she was keeping watchful, careful attention on the lives of each family member. What Cayce understood that most people miss is that our souls are eternal. That spiritual part of us is everlasting, perpetual, and timeless, just as our Creator intended. This eternal nature means that the bonds of love we form during our earthly existence don't simply vanish when someone passes away. Instead, these connections transform and find new ways to express themselves across the dimensional boundaries between the living and the dead. The universe, according to Cayce's teachings, wants us to succeed in our personal growth and development. We are constantly greeted with signs along the way, experiences and encounters that serve as synchronistic guidance, appearing exactly when we need them most. Our departed loved ones become active participants in this cosmic support system, working within spiritual laws to offer comfort, guidance, and reassurance to those they left behind. Now let's explore the first and most common way your loved ones reach out to you from the other side. Visitation dreams represent the primary method through which deceased loved ones maintain contact with the living. These aren't ordinary dreams that your mind creates during sleep. They are genuine spiritual encounters that occur when your consciousness is relaxed enough to receive communications from other dimensions. Spirit visitation dreams have distinctive characteristics that set them apart from regular dreams. When a deceased loved one visits you in this way, they often appear surrounded by some form of light, radiant and peaceful in a way that immediately communicates their well-being in the afterlife. The dream itself feels remarkably vivid and real, with a quality of presence and authenticity that regular dreams simply don't possess. You'll find yourself remembering every detail of these encounters years later, while ordinary dreams fade quickly from memory. During these visitations, your loved one typically appears healthy and whole, free from any illness or injury they may have experienced before passing. They communicate with clarity and purpose, often delivering specific messages of comfort, guidance, or reassurance. These messages frequently address concerns you've been carrying, questions you've been asking, or decisions you've been struggling to make. Consider the profound experience of Maria, whose teenage son died in a tragic car accident. 3 months after his passing, she found herself trapped in a cycle of guilt and self-blame, wondering if she could have somehow prevented the tragedy. Then came the dream that changed everything. Her son appeared to her more vivid and real than any dream she had ever experienced. He was surrounded by a warm, golden light that seemed to emanate from within his very being, and his presence filled her with an overwhelming sense of peace. In the dream, her son spoke with perfect clarity, telling her that he was safe and at peace in his new existence. He explained that his death had been part of a larger spiritual plan that she couldn't fully understand from her earthly perspective. Most importantly, he told her to stop blaming herself for not preventing the accident, because there was nothing she could have done differently. He showed her images of himself in a beautiful place filled with other souls, learning and growing in ways that weren't possible during his earthly life. What made this dream unmistakably authentic were the specific details her son shared about family members and private conversations that only he would have known. He mentioned a conversation he'd had with his father just days before the accident, discussing plans and dreams that the family had never talked about publicly. When Maria woke up, she felt an overwhelming sense of peace and comfort that lasted for days. The realistic quality of the dream was so profound that she could recall every detail weeks later, and it marked the beginning of her healing journey. This type of visitation dream exemplifies how deceased loved ones use the dream state to provide comfort, healing, and guidance to their living relatives. The dreams serve multiple purposes, offering reassurance about the loved one's continued existence and well-being while providing specific guidance for the living person's journey through grief and life decisions. The second powerful sign that your loved ones are watching over you manifests through synchronicities and meaningful coincidences. These aren't random occurrences that your grieving mind creates meaning from. They represent deliberate attempts by your deceased loved ones to capture your attention and remind you of their ongoing presence in your life. Carl Jung, the famous psychologist, defined synchronicity as meaningful coincidences where something other than the likelihood of chance is involved. When the same signs keep appearing repeatedly in your life, especially numbers, symbols, or patterns associated with your deceased loved one, you're witnessing synchronicity in action. The exact symbols aren't as important as the personal significance they hold for you and your relationship with the departed person. Numbers hold particular power in these synchronistic communications because they create patterns that are impossible to ignore when they appear repeatedly. If you associate a specific number with your loved one, perhaps their birth date, anniversary, or a number that held special meaning in your relationship, and that number begins appearing everywhere in your daily life, you're receiving a direct message from the other side. Take Robert's remarkable experience after his father passed away on March 15th. Initially, Robert dismissed the first few occurrences as mere coincidence, but when he glanced at the clock at exactly 3:15 while thinking about his father, something stirred within him. The next day brought his grocery bill totaling $31.50. Within the same week, he found himself assigned parking space number 315. His coffee order number matched the same digits, and while stuck in traffic, a license plate directly in front of him displayed those same numbers. Each appearance of this numerical sequence triggered a warm sensation throughout Robert's body, accompanied by an unmistakable feeling of his father's presence. The synchronicities became so frequent and precisely timed that Robert could no longer dismiss them as random chance. They appeared most often during his most challenging moments, when he was struggling with grief or facing important decisions that required wisdom beyond his years. The pattern continued for months, becoming Robert's father's unique signature from beyond the physical world. These meaningful coincidences provided comfort during his darkest hours and guidance when he needed direction most. The numbers became his father's way of saying, "I'm still here with you, son. You're not walking this path alone." What makes these synchronicities so powerful is their timing. They don't appear randomly throughout your day. They manifest precisely when you need reassurance most, when you're questioning whether your loved one's spirit continues, or when you're facing challenges that feel overwhelming. The universe orchestrates these moments through your departed loved ones, creating bridges of communication that transcend the boundaries between life and death. The third unmistakable sign involves physical sensations and energy shifts that occur when your loved ones draw near. Many people report sensing an actual presence around them after someone they love has passed away. This isn't imagination or wishful thinking. It represents your deceased loved one's ability to affect the energy field around you, creating tangible sensations that your physical body can detect and recognize. Your body functions as a sophisticated antenna for energetic, psychic, and spiritual information. When someone from the spirit world attempts to communicate with you, your nervous system responds with specific physical sensations that alert you to their presence. You might notice a sudden shift in the energy of a room, feeling as though someone has just entered the space even though no living person has arrived. These sensations often manifest as temperature changes that have no logical explanation. You might feel a sudden warmth enveloping you during moments of deep sadness, or experience a gentle coolness that brings inexplicable comfort during times of stress. Some people report tingling sensations on their skin as if someone has lightly touched them or brushed past them in passing. Sarah's experience with her grandmother's spirit perfectly illustrates this phenomenon. Her grandmother had been her closest confidant throughout childhood, the person who provided unconditional love and wisdom during Sarah's most formative years. After her grandmother's passing, Sarah frequently experienced what she could only describe as invisible hugs during her most challenging moments. The most profound instance occurred when Sarah lost her job unexpectedly and found herself sitting alone in her apartment, overwhelmed by hopelessness and uncertainty about her future. As she sat in despair, questioning how she would pay her bills and support herself, a warm, comforting sensation suddenly enveloped her entire body. The feeling was so real and familiar that she immediately recognized it as her grandmother's embrace. The same loving arms that had comforted her countless times during childhood. Along with the physical sensation came an overwhelming feeling of love and reassurance, accompanied by what seemed like her grandmother's gentle voice whispering, "Everything will be all right, dear. Trust that this challenge is leading you exactly where you need to go." The encounter was so vivid and comforting that it instantly shifted Sarah's emotional state from despair to hope. These physical encounters continued regularly over several months, always appearing during Sarah's moments of greatest need. The sensations were so distinct and recognizable that they helped her navigate through her grief while building confidence for her job search. Each invisible hug served as a reminder that her grandmother's love hadn't disappeared with death but had transformed into a new kind of presence that could still provide comfort across dimensional boundaries. The fourth powerful sign manifests through scents and fragrances that carry deep emotional connections to your deceased loved ones. Our sense of smell connects directly to the brain's limbic system, the area responsible for memory and emotion. When a departed loved one wants to remind you of their presence, they often choose to communicate through familiar scents that immediately transport you back to cherished memories you shared together. These aromatic visitations typically appear suddenly and without any logical explanation for their presence. You might catch the distinctive scent of your grandfather's pipe tobacco while sitting in a room where no one has smoked for years. Or perhaps you'll smell your mother's favorite perfume wafting through your home when none of her belongings are nearby. The key characteristic that identifies these as spiritual communications is their timing and intensity, appearing exactly when you need comfort most. Jennifer's story demonstrates the profound impact these scented messages can have on the grieving process. Her mother had worn the same rose perfume for over 30 years, making it her unmistakable signature scent that family members could detect from rooms away. After her mother's death from cancer, Jennifer struggled to find meaning in daily life, feeling disconnected from everything that had once brought her joy. One evening, while cleaning out her mother's belongings, Jennifer found herself overwhelmed with grief and collapsed onto her mother's bed, sobbing uncontrollably as the reality of her loss hit her with renewed force. Suddenly, the entire room filled with the unmistakable fragrance of her mother's rose perfume. The scent was so strong and authentic that Jennifer initially thought she had accidentally knocked over one of her mother's perfume bottles during her emotional breakdown. However, when she carefully examined every bottle in the room, she discovered they were all tightly sealed and undisturbed. The perfume hadn't come from any physical source, yet its presence was undeniably real and comforting. The fragrance lingered for several minutes, gradually fading as Jennifer felt a profound sense of peace wash over her troubled heart. Over the following months, Jennifer began experiencing her mother's rose perfume in the most unexpected places and moments. The scent would appear in her own home during quiet evenings when loneliness felt overwhelming. She'd smell it while driving in her car during difficult commutes to work. Once, while walking through a department store where she and her mother used to shop together, the familiar fragrance surrounded her so completely that other shoppers began looking around, wondering where such a beautiful scent was coming from. Each occurrence happened during emotionally significant moments. The perfume appeared on Jennifer's birthday, filling her kitchen as she attempted to bake her first cake without her mother's guidance. It wafted through her bedroom on Mother's Day morning, providing comfort during what she expected to be her most difficult day. When Jennifer faced the challenging decision of whether to accept a job offer in another state, her mother's scent filled her living room as she sat weighing the pros and cons, almost as if her mother was there offering silent support for whatever choice felt right. These aromatic visits became Jennifer's most treasured signs that her mother's love transcended physical death. The familiar scent served as a bridge between worlds, carrying messages of continued presence and unwavering maternal love that no grave could contain. The fifth remarkable sign appears through electrical disturbances and technology anomalies that defy logical explanation. Spirits exist as pure energy, which gives them the ability to influence electromagnetic fields around electronic devices and appliances. When your departed loved ones want to capture your attention, they often choose to manipulate the technology in your environment, creating phenomena that are too specific and well-timed to dismiss as mere coincidence. These electrical communications manifest in various ways. Lights may flicker in patterns that seem intentional rather than random. Televisions might turn on by themselves, often tuning to channels or programs that held special meaning for your deceased loved one. Radios may spontaneously activate and play songs that carry emotional significance. Phones might ring with no caller on the other end, or electronic devices may malfunction in ways that create meaningful messages. Michael's experience perfectly illustrates how departed loved ones use electrical phenomena to maintain contact with their families. His father had been a skilled electrician who took immense pride in his technical expertise and spent his career working with electrical systems. After his father's sudden death from a heart attack, Michael began experiencing unusual electrical phenomena throughout his home that seemed to carry his father's distinctive signature. The first incident occurred during his father's wake, when every light fixture in Michael's house simultaneously dimmed to half brightness and then returned to full illumination. This happened despite the lights being connected to different electrical circuits throughout the house, making a normal electrical explanation highly unlikely. The timing felt too precise and meaningful to be coincidental, occurring just as family members were sharing their favorite memories of Michael's father. In the weeks following the funeral, Michael's television began displaying what could only be described as intelligent behavior. The set would spontaneously power on, always tuning itself to his father's favorite sports channel, even when the remote control was located in entirely different rooms. His father's old radio in the garage would occasionally spring to life on its own, invariably finding the classical music station that had provided the soundtrack to countless hours they'd spent working on projects together. The most extraordinary incident occurred on the first anniversary of his father's death. Michael woke up to discover that every smoke detector in his house was beeping in a sequential pattern. Despite having fresh batteries and showing no signs of malfunction when professionally tested, the sequence moved from room to room in a deliberate pattern that reminded Michael of his father's methodical approach to checking electrical systems during his professional inspections. These electrical anomalies continued for over a year, always manifesting during emotionally charged moments, or when Michael found himself thinking intensely about his father. Each incident felt like his electrician father's unique way of demonstrating his continued presence, letting his son know that he was still watching over the electrical systems of his life, ensuring everything remained safe and functional. The sixth powerful sign reveals itself through animals and nature acting as spiritual messengers. The natural world operates on frequencies and energy levels that make animals particularly sensitive to spiritual presences. When your departed loved ones want to communicate with you, they often work through the creatures and natural phenomena around you, creating encounters that feel too meaningful and perfectly timed to be random occurrences. Birds hold special significance in these spiritual communications, particularly species like cardinals, robins, and doves that have long been associated with messages from beyond. When these creatures exhibit unusual behavior around you, approaching closer than normal, lingering in your presence, or appearing repeatedly in your daily life, they may be serving as messengers for your departed loved ones. Butterflies represent another powerful form of spiritual communication, symbolizing transformation and the continuation of life in new forms. When butterflies appear at meaningful moments, especially if they seem drawn to you personally or display behavior that captures your attention, they often carry messages of hope and reassurance from those who have transformed from physical to spiritual existence. Even domestic animals can serve as conduits for spiritual communication. Pets are naturally sensitive to energy and spiritual presence, often detecting things that human senses cannot perceive. If your pet suddenly begins staring intently at empty spaces, reacting to invisible presences, or displaying behavior that suggests they're interacting with someone unseen, they may be responding to visits from your departed loved ones. Linda's remarkable experience with a cardinal messenger demonstrates how powerfully nature can facilitate communication between worlds. Her husband Tom had been a passionate bird watcher who spent countless hours in their backyard, carefully documenting and photographing the various species that visited their property. Their shared love of birdwatching had been one of the strongest bonds in their marriage, creating memories that filled decades of their life together. After Tom's death following a prolonged illness, Linda felt completely disconnected from the natural world they had explored together. The backyard that had once brought them so much joy now felt empty and lifeless, a painful reminder of everything she had lost. She found herself unable to look at Tom's bird identification books or use the expensive binoculars they had purchased for their anniversary. One morning, approximately 2 months after Tom's funeral, Linda sat on their back porch crying while reluctantly looking through Tom's carefully organized bird journals. She was trying to decide whether to donate his extensive collection of birdwatching equipment when something extraordinary happened. A brilliant red cardinal landed on the arm of Tom's favorite outdoor chair, positioning itself just 3 feet away from where she sat. The cardinal's behavior was unlike anything Linda had ever witnessed in decades of birdwatching with her husband. Instead of displaying the typical skittish behavior cardinals usually exhibit around humans, this bird sat perfectly still, maintaining direct eye contact with Linda for several minutes. The creature showed no fear despite her proximity, almost as if it recognized her and felt completely comfortable in her presence. As Linda watched in amazement, the cardinal began singing an elaborate, complex song that seemed directed specifically toward her. The melody was unlike the simple calls she and Tom had recorded from cardinals in the past. This song had layers and variations that created an almost conversational quality, as if the bird was attempting to communicate something important through its musical language. Over the following weeks, Linda began to recognize the same cardinal by a distinctive white marking on its left wing. The bird established a routine of appearing regularly in their yard, often choosing to perch on Tom's chair or near the elaborate bird feeding stations Tom had constructed over the years. The cardinal would appear most frequently during Linda's moments of deepest grief, always announcing its presence with that same elaborate, beautiful song. The timing of these visits felt too meaningful to be coincidental. The cardinal would appear when Linda was struggling with loneliness, when she was making difficult decisions about Tom's belongings, or when she was questioning whether his spirit continued to exist somewhere beyond physical death. Linda began talking to the cardinal as if it were Tom himself, sharing her daily experiences and the challenges she faced in learning to live without him. The cardinal continued these regular visits for over a year, bringing Linda immeasurable comfort and a growing sense that Tom was somehow communicating through this remarkable creature. The bird became a bridge between her grief and healing, helping her maintain a connection with Tom's spirit while gradually rebuilding her relationship with the natural world they had loved together. The seventh and final sign manifests through meaningful songs and musical messages that appear at precisely the right moments to provide comfort, guidance, or connection. Music carries emotional frequencies that make it an ideal medium for spiritual communication. When your departed loved ones want to reach you through song, they orchestrate situations where specific pieces of music play exactly when you need to hear them most. These musical messages often involve songs that held special significance in your relationship with the deceased person. It might be your wedding song, a tune they always hummed while working, or a piece of music that played during important moments you shared together. The key identifying factor isn't just hearing the song, but the perfect timing of its appearance and the emotional impact it creates. These 7 signs reveal the profound truth that Edgar Cayce spent his lifetime documenting. Death is not an ending, but a transformation. And the love connecting you to those who've passed transcends every boundary between worlds. When you recognize these communications for what they truly are, you'll never feel alone again. Your loved ones haven't left you behind. They've simply found new ways to let you know they're still walking beside you on your journey.